So it looks to be this week, maybe a lot more things globally possibly coming into the spotlight, and certain action steps being taken, and this idea of putting your money where your mouth is. So watch the whole video for more information on all that. Just a reminder that this is meant to be a mundane reading and not at all a sun sign or all signs kind of a forecast. Alright, so for this week, we are going to start off on Sunday, June 28th. And on this day, the only big thing we're going to have is Mars here coming in to Gemini. For some reason, I wanted to say Sagittarius. I don't know why. Okay, I'm getting that because this is going to be related on a global scale. That's initially why I felt that, but yet they're saying that yes, Mars is coming into Gemini. This is... Okay. I get a sense of with Trump, I feel like this may be a major focus, but a lot of this is... It's putting your money where your mouth is, but in the way I want to rephrase that and state what I mean by that specifically in that this is taking action on what you're saying, doing what you've said you're going to do, things like that. And I get a sense of whether Trump is calling other people out for not doing that, or whether he is saying, well, I've said this, so I'm going to do it. It's something like that. And this could be, I get a sense of other political figures playing into this as well in terms of this. Now, as again, I've got to remind that I'm of no political affiliation to anything. I'm simply stating this as my guidance is coming through with this. He is obviously the President of the United States. I mean, everybody has their opinion on that. And so that is why this stuff is coming through in the way that it is, because he is in that position. Okay, I'm of no political affiliation when I do these videos. I am simply stating the guidance as the guidance comes to me. Okay, what you choose, who you choose to vote for, believe, whatever, is entirely up to you. You are a sovereign being with your own free will. That is not up to anybody else to dictate to you what to believe in that way. Okay? Well, it's not up to anybody to dictate to you what to believe in anyway. So just understand that. But yes, this is very much, it feels like taking action really on what you are saying. And I get a sense of, with this initial ingress, as it's very close to Uranus, this could be a bit, this could shake a lot of things up. This could be very much a change that is needed, whether we see it that way or not, because we may think of, oh my God, this is happening, oh my God, whatever, but that catalyst is leading to some aspect of positive change, whether we see it that way in the moment or not, okay? Please understand that. All right, so that is Mars coming into Gemini. We're going to move on now to Monday the 29th, where we're going to have this full moon here happening in Capricorn, being drawn to the fact that it's happening at 8 degrees. I get a sense of that there's a bit of a transformative vibe to this, shall we say, more Scorpio vibe to this, despite... Okay, there's... I'm being drawn to the fact, because I was looking for aspects to Pluto, I'm seeing that there's a triseptile to Pluto here. I don't talk about this much. I'm also being drawn to the fact that there's also a triseptile to Uranus's south node in Sagittarius. There's, what I get a sense of is maybe world-changing things, transformation, but with these triseptiles, this is being brought through from a much higher level. Like this is something that is like, no, this is moving forward whether humanity likes it or not. This needs to take place. Okay, this is almost, I almost don't want to say it as like divine intervention, but there's something coming through here from a much different level. And this could be actual physical beings that are helping in whatever way. But this is coming through from a level of which the population likely does not fully understand. Whether that is an institution that exists within our government systems or something like that, or something completely different, we don't fully understand where this is coming from. But it is relating to this transformative, it's basically almost like a removal of these old things. What I get a sense of with this actually, so with the sun here in Cancer, moon in Capricorn, there's a release, but it is involving with this domestic focus, but it is about setting boundaries and taking control and releasing old aspects of control. Releasing old aspects of control in that releasing the old paradigm's way of trying to control and kind of manipulate the world. This is taking control in a domestic way and looking after your own first before other people. In a mundane reading, this means looking after your own country first before anybody else. We're dealing with the energy of Cancer here, home. This mundane reading is relating to a home country. It's aspects of top-down structures of control. I feel like more of localized government taking control and releasing old forms of control that existed maybe on a more global level, taking control on maybe a more, shall we say, municipal level. But in terms of like the actual country, obviously municipal is like related to like a town or a community, but on a global scale, we're relating that to a country, okay? That's what I get with this, and that's what I understand with these triseptiles, with this transformation. Uranus' south node, there's a change occurring, but it's letting go of old ways of the world in terms of these ways of control and relating to the home front. We need to honor ourselves in our countries and our own sovereignty first, not let anybody else fuck with that before we begin to reconnect on a global level once again. This isn't a permanent like closure of borders or closure of anything. It's a temporary closure of borders and closure of things to fix situations first before we begin to move forward and begin to allow things to happen again. This is not meant to incite any form of racism, any form of xenophobia, anything like that. All countries and cultures are to be respected. What this is entailing is that respect, the boundary needs to be put in place for that to be respected, and that starts at home and domestically first. When that happens, and when that happens in a way that boundary is in place and it is respected, we can then begin to reconnect from that new level perspective way to back into reconnecting wholly as more of a global humanity in that way. But it's almost like there's a healing process that has to occur with this first before we can get back to what we may know as more of an open world. Boundaries need to be in place first before that can occur to basically put boundaries in to make people show respect to each other is basically what I'm getting with that. Okay, we're also going to have Mercury, which will go retrograde today. Now, I'm guided to say that I never talked about Mercury coming into shadow because I was guided not to. When I did that week's video, I was never reminded of it. Usually I am. Even afterwards I noticed, and I was basically guided, no, you're not going to be talking about this until Mercury goes retrograde. There is something happening here, and I get a sense of with this full moon, and likely things that have happened in this shadow period that I was not privy to, that we simply had to wait to experience. And because of that, and because I do these videos ahead of time, I still don't know what that is. That is playing a role here with this Mercury retrograde. This feels like regarding a domestic focus. I get a sense of it's like closing borders or shutting things down. But again, this isn't to limit like immigration or to be racist or anything like that. It is to fix a problem, understand our own domestic sovereignty first, and then reopen things back up as an eventuality. But there's something that there feels like there needs to be better boundaries put in place before things begin to move forward and open up again. Okay, again, this is not meant to be any kind of racist, anything like that. The world is still going to function. We should still love each other, regardless of who we are. Each perspective is unique and is to be respected. Okay? But this is something that needs to be done because there was dark energy or negative entities that were trying to fuck with this and use that positive openness and respect to manipulate it to their advantage to take advantage of their own right of certain things. That needs to be addressed first before, so those boundaries need to be set. That needs to be addressed first before we can then reintegrate as more of a global connected society with proper boundaries set in place and respect for each individual's country, culture, etc. Okay? That is what I'm getting with that. Mercury and the Mercury retrograde, I feel, is very much related to this. And this is going, because of this retrograde happening now, this is going to be drawn out over this period of time. And it's based around this aspect of sovereignty, but on the home front. Again, I'm being drawn, so this Mercury retrograde is in a biseptile to Saturn in Aries. This is about setting these boundaries, but this is coming through from a higher level that is being pushed on us as, okay, no, you need to do this. This is coming in a way that we don't fully understand or what is going on here, but it is happening. Okay, it is happening. And this is occurring for a legitimate reason. Again, it's not meant to incite racism. It's not meant to incite any of this stuff. This is only temporary in terms of these closures, restrictions, whatever, to become back into the sovereign place again, and then from that standpoint to reopen back up. But that will be several years likely. But this needs to occur in the meantime for whatever reason. Okay? With that being said, there's also Mars here. Again, I'm actually being drawn to say this isn't just about a specific political leader such as Trump. This is happening whether he's there or not, because they're referencing they're saying the way that he talks about certain things and closing borders and stuff incites a lot of anger in a lot of people, and in some cases, rightfully so, because obviously we don't want to be racist, we don't want to be whatever. But there is still something to what he is doing, even if we don't fully understand it. And they're saying right now, this comes from us as the higher perspective. This does not come directly from Mark. Do not come after Mark for saying this. This comes as guidance from this higher level. This is not coming from him, and this does not reflect his viewpoints in the world in any way. That's direct from them and that source, okay? So just be mindful of that. They're also saying that good things can happen through what you may or may not consider to be bad people. Okay, we're just going to move on now. We're also going to have Mars here in this semi-sextile to Chiron. Again, this is relating to literally putting your money where your mouth is, because we're dealing with wounds of material things, money, etc. Taking action on an awareness of what is being said to move forward here in this way, and I get a sense of it's also surrounding these material wounds. I get it relates to sovereignty as well and independence, but as it relates in an economic or material kind of a way. Okay, we're also going to have Mercury. Oh no, that's not going to be it. Sorry, wrong thing. We're going to have Mars here as well. Back to Mars in square to the nodes. So, okay, this taking action and basically putting your money where your mouth is leading us into this new unknown direction, despite maybe not fully understanding that. Okay, there is also putting your money where your mouth is and taking action on that is a letting go of a lot of these old practical things that we once thought was practical, and moving in this new direction. But I feel like people will be resistant to this new direction because they don't know or understand it. But trust and faith is warranted here. You need to understand that. Things are happening. Things are crazy. Things are fucking ludicrous, crazy, insane. They know that. We know that. But this is all of this Everything that is going on right now is happening for a reason. There are some things that do not need to happen because there is the dying dark or negative faction that is trying to lash out at whatever the hell it can to continue to cause chaos in a very negative way. But there's also a lot of crazy things that are like, whoa, that's happening, that are actually of the light, that are good, that are maybe tower moments that are there on purpose and for a reason to cause the downfall of negative things for us to be able to move forward in a more new and positive direction. But most people aren't going to see it that way. There will be an eventuality of people seeing it that way, but as of right now, they won't see it that way because they can't as of yet, due to circumstances of which I'm not even going to fully get into here and could not explain within a video that's just meant for weekly astrology, okay? So that is more squaring the nodes. Let's move on to Tuesday the 30th here. This is when we're going to have Jupiter coming in to Leo. Things are going to get blown up. Okay, they're saying not necessarily related to, like a war type thing. Don't say it like that. Okay, the war is not going to be allowed. They're saying world war is not going to be allowed. There are going to be specific possible military things that will occur, but they are not wars. They are military actions against that which has tried to control this world for so long. And that it's going to happen and then quickly come to an end. It's not going to be a prolonged war. Those who have caused world wars were the negative ones that were trying to enslave and maintain the old world, basically. The people who are the likes of that, which would be in the Epstein files related to government things, and those that were higher up trying to control that kind of stuff. Those are the people that we're talking about here that were making money off of war, making money off of very bad things. Okay? That is what's being taken out by military action in certain ways now. Not all, because there are some retaliatory measures that are not meant to be good. You can tell by that if there's civilians involved or civilian places taken out, that is an action of the old dark ones that do not have your best interests at heart because they don't give a fuck about humanity or the people. Those military actions that do their best to avoid being involved with the main population as much as they possibly can, those are of the light and those are from a positive space. Whether you agree with them or not, they're saying that things will come to light in the future as things begin to progress and move forward. We're not going to fully understand this now. We simply don't have the capacity to. The population does not have the capacity to yet. But I get a sense of within a 2-year time frame, we will be. At least now it's a 2 year. This could extend, it could be longer, but within that time frame, as of now, we will, okay? However, that can always change due to free will, due to strategic changes, whatever is happening, etc. Back to Jupiter and Leo. There's a lot of stuff that is exploding on the world stage that is going to come directly into the spotlight. It's just going to we're going to see things happen and occur. Like, you think things have been crazy now. They're bringing this, how people would understand maybe this dramatic aspect of Leo. Things are going to get a lot more dramatic. And especially we're having this as Jupiter comes into Leo. There's an opposition to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. This is this destruction of the old world, transformation, and the chaos that ensues through that, and being blown up into center stage, into the spotlight as this all comes through. This is all going to start to come to light here with this. Okay, so expect the unexpected, and expect things to be much bigger in the world. And this isn't just this week. Jupiter is going to be in Leo for a while here, okay? And we're just going to have to deal with this. All right, so that's that. We're also going to have Venus here in sesqui-square to Neptune. What I get a sense of is there's this group of people, watch like previous 4 or 5 back videos, that are still working behind the scenes on whatever it is that they're doing, and they're getting this support. This can't be swept under the rug any longer. These people are helping because they know they have to help. They're getting this hidden support that they need in whatever way that is necessary for whenever this comes out to the public light in whatever it is that they're able to do so. Because their voices were not allowed to be heard by negative factions that were disallowing that, and now they're unstoppable. These people that are doing this good thing is unstoppable. They're not going to be stopped by how they've been silenced before. I still don't know what this is about or what is going on, but that is what that is. We're also going to have the Sun here in this quincunx to Juno. Again, I get this frustration surrounding, it feels like partnerships with other countries, etc. There's a domestic focus here. The focus is domestic. There's a frustration here surrounding we need to look after ourselves, and these partnerships that we have, they're being kind of put on pause. The Juno retrograde here, it's being put on pause in terms of these progressive partnerships, in terms of maybe like trade or country part, whatever they are. They're, what I get a sense of is ultimately more like a slowdown. It's like a pause, but it's more like a slowdown because there's more of a domestic focus, and so there's more of a slowdown on this trade, on these other things in terms of these partnerships that come through here. There's a frustration with that, with these countries, that they now have to face these things, but inevitably it's for everybody's best good in doing so. Let's move on to Wednesday, July 1st. We are going to have Jupiter in square to Chiron. There's going to be something here about economics and trade. The wounds to abundance or material things surrounding that is going to be seen very much on a global scale here. And what has been done or is being done in order to heal that and to stop a further wound from occurring financially, economically, etc. With this energy in whatever way that is. Okay, I'm just going to be drawn to just stop there and talking about it. Let's move on to July 2nd. This is when we're going to have Venus here in trine to Black Moon Lilith. We're talking about this group of people again. Watch my previous videos on this. I'm not diving into it again here. Why do I keep hitting the right click button? They're no longer being outcasted. There's a very strong support here that is like, okay, we're not going to be outcasted by the world, by these people anymore. What we're doing will be seen. And I'm not going to go further into that because this is not going to be seen in the news. It's not going to be understood. It's not going to be any of that. Okay? So I'm just saying that that's how this energy is being used, but this is more of a behind the scenes thing in this way. Okay, if you want to know what I mean by being used and my guidance on astrology, you can head on over to my website, mysticalmark.ca. Click on the What is Astrology link at the top of the website to understand how my guidance is in terms of astrology, how these energetic cycles are used, etc. Please have a look at that if you don't fully understand what I mean or I'm talking about in these videos to help you to fully understand. There's also a section on my website on the front page, if you scroll down a ways, what you need to know, that goes into how I go about doing these videos and what you do need to know in how I do this. All right, that being said, let's get back into this. We're all going to have Jupiter making aspects to the nodes. We're going to have this quincunx to the north node and this sextile, semi-sextile to the south node. Again, I'm being drawn to say, yes, these are minor aspects. However, my guidance is minor aspects aren't minor. They are They have just as much of an effect as major aspects. Okay, these are geometrical mathematical calculations. One math calculation is not greater than another math calculation. They all have an effect on each other, okay? So with this quincunx to the North Node, what we're seeing kind of blow up in the world, on the world stage, if you will, what we're seeing more and more of as the drama of the world unfolding and exploding is, it's really pushing us to an awareness of moving in this new direction that is unknown to us. There's a frustration here because there's a lot of people that seemingly aren't ready for it, but they don't have a choice anymore. This can't be held off any longer. It needs to continue and move forward. Okay, that's the frustration here, is that things were handled in a way, or things happened in a way in which they shouldn't have occurred, and so things need to happen in a way in which they shouldn't have had to happen, which is why things are the crazy mess that they are. Okay, but there's an awareness that we need to move in this new unknown direction based on what we've seen, but there's a frustration because it feels like people just aren't ready. And it's almost like there's an automatic letting go of these old ways of being and doing, these practical ways of being and doing things in the world. Let's move on to Saturday, July 4th. We're going to have Mars here in conjunction to Uranus. There could be a lot of action taking place towards specific aspects of change. Again, putting your money where your mouth is. And there could be a lot of saying we're going to take action on things, action being taken towards appropriate change. And this feels very quick. It feels very quick, very fast movement forward. We're not waiting anymore, that type of a thing. Mars is still in square to the nodes here. Uranus is still in square to the nodes here. So we're very much like things are moving, things are changing. There's no more waiting any longer. Things are shifting and moving forward. Okay, we're going to have the sun here as well in this quintile to Chiron. This is healing the domestic wound of economics, money, material things, etc. But it's through this behind the scenes work, through an awareness that was brought through of this domestic first focus that has happened in the past few weeks, through this Mercury retrograde, etc. That is coming through with this. There's people working under governments that we don't normally maybe see. They work for the governments, etc., that are doing the work behind the scenes to kind of heal this wound and focus more domestically in this way. Mars is also going to be in sextile to Neptune as well. There is a hidden force, a very positive, supportive hidden force behind the scenes that is really pushing for the action and change, and the possibly volatile words and things that are coming out right now surrounding this in moving forward in this way to push forward with this square to the nodes as well, to push forward in whatever way that is necessary at this time. There is behind the scenes positive masculine energy support. This isn't specifically men or anything like that, but there is a positive driving force that is really very positively supportive of the action steps, the change, and the directions in which we are going in now. Okay. We have reached the end of the week, the end of the video here. Interestingly enough, we'll see how this plays out because I'm Canadian, and obviously this week contains Canada Day as well as July 4th, which is Independence Day in the US. So both of those specific kind of more country-focused days of North America happening all in the same week. I mean, they usually, well, I mean, it kind of depends when the dates fall. Sometimes one is 1 week, one is in another. But happening all together in the same week, I don't know. There's like something to this that maybe is coming through in whatever way. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If you're looking to get these energies personalized, you can get a reading with me. Those links are in the description below. Or you can head on over to my website, mysticalmark.ca. I don't think I really have anything else to say at all, so I hope to see you all in next week's video. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.